It's time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast.
It's time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast. Yep. Welcome to the show.
Yo, yo, yo.
I was looking at our the thumbnail, and it's got that shooter, that brown shooter on there, and I'm thinking he looks like he would he would fly off the fucking rails. That dude looks great. It's always in their eyes, you know, you could tell.
Exactly.
You could tell, man. But of course that's
crazy.
A huge story going on right now, of course. You know, a lot of different theories being thrown around, people not happy with the way that whole thing played out as far as the investigation and all. But first, I want to touch on this Epstein mess that's going on. I want to get into that because it always intrigues me as far as the level of bullshit that comes with them. You know, and this right here will kick it off because they released them, of course, partially, you know, and I'll go ahead and sum it all up for you, what they released, and that's it right there. So that's all you got to see. And this is basically what everybody got, you know.
You can't make that out, dude?
Yeah, just read between the lines, you know. So, yeah, this is basically what we got out of the whole, you know, the Transparency Act that Trump was pushing, you know. And
what a joke.
I know. And I guess if you expected much, maybe you had some kind of false, you know, sense going on. But I don't know, man. I just didn't like, how many times can they pull this, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long, you know, how many times they can do this. I mean, it's over 5,000 documents from subpoenas, you know, to banks like J.B. Morgan and all, you know, the Virgin Island records is, you know, 20-something, you know, 20,000 plus pages from Epstein's estate, you know, released earlier by the House Oversight Committee. And it's just all like nothing, you know, this stuff here is just a mix of you know, kind of fresh federal materials, you know, like some grand jury docs and shit, and recycled public info. I mean, but there's no bombshell evidence. So, I mean, you think this is the end of it, you know?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, it dropped today. I didn't even know it was dropping, to be honest with you. But when you see shit like that, it's like, seriously, dude, why even put that out? I mean, I know they had some other pictures that came out, yada yada, with Clinton in a hot tub and, you know, pictures of him with Epstein. But it's like, dude, people want substance, dude. I mean, you know, that's a waste of time, man. That really is. That's just a waste of damn time, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here, and it's like, why not just say that? Why not just come out and say, hey, you know, we're going to release a bunch of crap, basically. You know, it's not going to be much in it, but this is all we can release. You know, here you go. This is what you're getting. But they build it up, and like I said, with this whole Transparency Act that Trump, you know, signed or whatever that was to do with the Epstein files, they make it like something's about to give. You know, like they're about to actually show you something.
Right.
And
get ready.
I mean, that's
getting ready to drop it.
Exactly.
Oh,
I mean, that's
a fucking joke.
Yeah, that's a knock on Trump too. You know, I mean,
it really is, dude. Yeah.
People are just fed up, dude. I mean, they're fed up with these, you know, whispers of these client lists, you know, that never fully materialize.
Right.
You know, names like you mentioned, Clinton, you know, even Barack, and hell, even Trump. You know, his name, you know, Trump, popping up on these logs and photos, but no real accountability. You know. I mean,
there never will be, dude. Never will be accountability for this.
Yeah,
it's too deep, dude. It's way too deep.
Thank you. There's too many big names on it. You know, I mean, because it's what people are screaming. Like, where are the fucking arrests? You know, where are these trials? I mean, it's like, you know, some kind of confessions that could, I don't know, man, finally expose like the web of elite predators who basically treated these young girls like disposable playthings. You know,
absolutely.
I mean, we all know crimes happened. So when are they going to start holding people accountable? You know, I mean,
you know, There is a two-tier justice system in this country, dude, and we're on the bottom tier. That's for sure, dude.
Very much. I mean, we got, grand jury, transcripts from like fucking '05, that all they do is rehash this kind of sweetheart deal that Epstein scored back then, which was like 13 months and some kind of cushy jail with work release, like it was a damn vacation, and like I mentioned, the Transparency Act, now under that, we're supposed to applaud this fucking milestone, when we're just being drip fed documents. And, as mentioned before, just a lot of them were public from old cases, sprinkled with these images that you were talking about, some kind of dentist chair and all this shit that's in these crazy fucking images. But, when are we going to get that? But, with some unredacted truth to back all of this shit up, I don't know, man. American people have to be sick of this shit. And I think, by now they got to, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. I mean, people are just going to stop paying attention to it, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, that might be the motive, man. Look, put enough bullshit out there. Eventually people will get tired of it, and then it'll just kind of go by the wayside, man.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you. Thank you. That look, Kimberly's pissed off as much as we are, but you're right. That could be the whole motive behind it. Like you said, just keep throwing out nonsense. Yep. And eventually the American people will just kind of move on. They'll get tired of it because, what are you going to do about it, basically? I mean, we could bitch about it. We can get on here and bitch about it. Matt, what's going on, buddy? I see you over there in the comments. But yeah, it's like as a citizen, like, what are you going to do about it? I mean, as the American people, we watch these survivors have to, relive their trauma and courtrooms and headlines, only for the Department of Justice to basically play gatekeepers, citing privacy, while the real abusers are sipping champagne in their fucking ivory towers. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, even the optimists are starting to crack. People that were like, no, I believe Trump's got something. It's coming. A lot of those people are starting to say, okay, I give up. They're just throwing their hands up. I mean, it's. Like I said, how many more of these, bro? It's
Pam Bondi. I mean,
part of it, but it's got to go. Everybody involved. I mean, how do you not throw it at the one that's speaking on TV right above my head that I need to mute because it's probably coming through the mic? But
it is.
Trump's live right now, and it's like he's got to, of course, catch some of this blame. It starts with him.
Yeah.
It starts with him.
He's running it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, how many more of these batches of files do we need before someone with some kind of authority says that's enough, and we get cast off as conspiracy nuts when really we're just citizens that are demanding what we've been promised, which is justice, not fucking excuses, or just admit that the whole system's fucking rigged and we can all just move on,
Well, it's definitely rigged. And look, it even just brings it more to like for the people that really follow this stuff, man, because it's all bullshit. It's like I just said earlier, they just keep throwing this little tidbit shit out there, redacted crap. But there's more to it, because if there was nothing, it would just be a dead issue, dude. And I think they're just covering up. And I just think it's so deep. And I'm not saying just politicians. I'm saying world people. I say world people, but people around the world. If it's Hollywood elites, like you were saying, it's the more elite people that are involved. And I've always said it, and I'm going to stick to my guns, that if it's ever brought to the forefront of what went on with Jeffrey Epstein and all of these other people, it would probably rock the moral fabric of this country. I mean, it's been pretty rocked lately, but I think it would. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and they got people that are actually, they're supporting what's going on as far as hailing it as a major win, as far as crediting Trump for signing this law and pushing for disclosure that the quote unquote deep state allegedly hid for years. So it could be as simple as Trump trying to get to the bottom of this, but you only have access to whatever information you have access to. You know what I mean? And the last administration has had plenty of time to basically purge anything they wanted to purge.
Absolutely.
It's like, why would you keep this shit around?
Right.
if you didn't have to, knowing that another administration may be coming in. So to me, it would be stupid to leave any kind of real evidence with real names that
Right.
could lead to real consequences laying around. It would be foolish.
Great
So
point.
I guess we can kind of blame ourselves for getting excited about this shit every time it comes up. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what are they really ever going to have their hands on to release that's going to point to anybody of importance? You
This
know
late
what I
in the
mean?
game, not much.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I mean, it's like what's left now?
Yes.
But it's like, how many times are they going to keep pulling this shit though? How many times are they going to keep saying we're releasing something, and then this is what they release?
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
I did a quick scan of it. I'm not going to sit here and say I read every single file, but it doesn't take that nowadays. You know,
No.
You could do a quick scan of it. You can get online, do a little research. You see what they release. There's nothing in it worth even talking about. You know, just a bunch of pages with black lines. And like I said, they're all hiding behind, protecting victims' privacy, which I get. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say, hey, tell me every victim. But tell me who these big wigs were that were involved in this shit. That's what we want to know. And don't just tell us. Hold them accountable.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know, man. I'm with you. I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere now. You know?
No, me neither. No, I think
and honestly, I was gonna say, you used to be one of the optimistic ones. You know, I would always be bashing it, and you were kind of reeling it in a little, like, give them time, calm down. You know, let's see what Trump's got going, because we both have our faith in Trump. I mean, it's who we voted for. We want him to do what's best for the country. Why wouldn't you? No matter who's up there. And I think even yourself is starting to say, well, there's nothing coming,
And it's not just Epstein, man. It's like, I do try to remain optimistic about it all. And I've said it before, that, these investigations take time to build cases and, documentation and whatever it might be that they need to prosecute. But Epstein, dude, it's been so long that it's just like, it's been swept under the rug. I'm sure they all wanted to just go away. And you see the shit that they post today. Here it is, and it's all redacted shit. Let's see the meat and potatoes of it. Let's get it out in the open and be done with it. And I'm starting to feel that same way when it comes to just all the other illegal crap that's went on in this country, and it's just Pam Bondi, God, as much as I kind of liked her to be in office, but here we are 300 and something days, not one single person. And the only person that was brought up was, what was his name? Comey. Was it Comey that was brought up?
Yep.
Yeah. And it was, his charges were dismissed because of the prosecutor was illegally appointed or whatever it might have been.
That's why it's always something. That's why people like James Comey can sit there and post pictures of seashells basically saying to take out the president. Right. They're trolling the government because they know they're untouchable. They know it. Yes. From day one, they know it. People like Hillary Clinton, did Comey, anybody that's in the top tier of government, they can play these little stupid fucking games. They can get online and like I said, troll and talk shit because they know ain't nothing happening to me. Because a lot of people were like, why would James Comey stoke that fire? Because he don't give a fuck. He don't care. Right. It's like, because, why would you poke the bear if you know they may be coming after you, if you were really legitimately afraid that something might happen to you legally? But they know you're not touching me. We've got this on lock. They know it, and it's a shame because it is. And I'm with you, Pam Bondi. I mean, what has she done? What has she done?
Just cost the taxpayers a bunch of money. But anyway, I'm in full agreement with you, brother. I'm really losing hope, and I know there's other fish to fry with the economy and just illegals and everything else. But God, I don't think there's anything more important, really, honestly, than making sure that our country's being run correctly. And the people that have stole, and I mean that's a whole nother issue with this Minnesota stuff, and I'm sure you're going to get into it tonight. But God, I don't know if you've seen some stuff on that. It's just incredible, it's just incredible, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out of all of that too.
Yeah, that's what the fraud going on over there in Minnesota. I was just listening to some of that, and of course Tim Walz is up there like he's basically saying I'm in charge, so let me deal with this. I'll take care of it. And it's like, but you were in charge letting it happen.
Absolutely.
And what's going to happen to him? Absolutely nothing.
Probably nothing, dude. Probably nothing.
Probably nothing. What are they going to do to him now? we've seen other governors and all that. They're not always untouchable, but he's on the right
True.
side. You know what I mean? He's on that Democratic, and it just seems like those people are just they're totally untouchable. It's like the fucking mafia, man. And that's what I was, kind of referring to with the James Comey thing. He's on the right side. He knew going into that shit, you do what we need you to do. I promise you they won't touch you. Right. And he did. You saw what he did back when he was in charge, with this whole Hillary Clinton and these servers and all that shit that went on. Gets on national television, tells you the bitch broke the law, but then says, well, she didn't really mean anything by it. I mean, she didn't like really know any better. So we're just going to go ahead and let her go. I mean, come on. Now. I
just
mean,
a mistake,
Yeah. Yeah. Let us have a fucking mistake like that and see what it leads to.
Isn't that the truth, dude?
But that lets you know all you had to know about, back then. And I think that's kind of what's still going on with these high players, these high profile players that are involved in this Epstein shit. I just think it's a bunch of people that are a bunch of people that are untouchable. Right. And it's no point in even putting their name out there because nothing's going to happen.
No, you take something so minimal, like I say minimal, but you take something like the Clintons are going to be subpoenaed in front of Congress. Well, we're not coming. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let us do that and see what happens. Yeah. Let us do that. And it's just a joke.
I'm with you. Yeah. Kimberly, you're right. I may start working on that actually because we threw that around a while back about opening up a phone line, but it's me and Brad here and a couple other people that do this with us on a normal basis. I pretty much, handle all the producing and stuff, but I can't really monitor who the fuck's calling. So there's no telling what kind of people you're going to get to call in, without them being, vetted. So we'll see. But I would like to work that out because I'd love to have interested people like Kimberly seems to be calling.
She's on fire, man.
Yeah, and be able to discuss. And look, even if you don't agree with us, I would love it, but not the bullshit that we see on here with the, I don't need people calling saying you're supporting pedos. You're a pedo. Like, I don't need all that. I mean, call in, have an educated discussion with us. I would love it. So I may work on that. I used to have a separate phone line just for the studio, but I thought better of it. I was like, that might get a little sloppy. So.
It could get sloppy.
But we'll see. Yeah, I would like to work on that. But anyway, as frustrated as people are, about the shit going on with the Epstein stuff, it doesn't seem like they're much happier about what went down with the shooting at Brown College. Of course, they did identify the guy that did it. I think I pronounced his name right, Claudio Manuel Neves Valente or something, 48 years old from Portuguese.
He was a student, right?
He was at one point. He was briefly enrolled as a PhD student in physics from 2000 to like 01. And he took a leave of absence and formally withdrew, I think in 03, they said, without completing a degree. So they're saying there was no current affiliation with Brown, but he was seen on the campus as late as November of this year by a custodian. So he's been around there, you know what I mean? Right. And was he planning that shit since then?
Could be.
Who knows? But, of course, his body was found in that rented storage unit in Salem, New Hampshire. Apparently died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Pretty convenient,
Yeah.
But
and they've kind of linked him to the MIT, right?
Yeah, they did, man. They're saying that was a physics professor, 47 years old, out in Massachusetts, and they're thinking on the 15th or 16th, he went and took him out for whatever reason. They still don't have a motive behind this shit, but they said both had attended the same university in Portugal, so they had a history, back in the late 90s, and there's no, like I said, no confirmed motive for either attack, really. They say, and they don't really have any evidence yet that this guy knew the victims at the college either, So I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice if these assholes would just at least leave a fucking note if you're going to take yourself out, instead of just leaving everybody with a bunch of unanswered questions. Because even if you're the victim's family, a lot of them, they want that closure, that why at least, like why did this happen? So you could at least give them that. And not that it changes anything, but now they just all go to their graves wondering like why, like what did he have against them people? And it could have been random. He may not have had anything against them at all. but that's just a question, of course, that runs through the victims' loved ones' minds, for the rest of their lives. And so I don't know. I mean, and the worst part is that the major breakthrough came from fucking Reddit,
Yeah. How you like
that? These armchair detectives, man. Apparently someone had observed, him over there hours before the shooting. This person encountered Valente. Said he was acting suspiciously and in the engineering building's bathroom or something. So he was actually in the building, just free roaming.
Right.
Wasn't even, which I know a lot of colleges, from what I understand, you're allowed to go, on campus. I guess you could just go in the building. I don't know. Never attended college, but apparently it's just a free fucking open door policy on them, but anyway, he said he confronted him, outside, just kind of noted his odd behavior and, noticed the gray Nissan with the Florida plate. So I guess after he saw that they were looking for this person of interest that kind of resembled this weirdo that he saw, he gets on Reddit and starts talking about it.
Yeah.
And, I guess that led to the detectives, finding out. And then they were, I guess once they kind of had an idea of what area to look in, because the witness is like, look, I saw a guy right here. Then, of course, they pull up the cameras, and I guess they saw the car, got the license plate and all that bullshit, and, wound up, doing what they did, eventually, finding him at this storage unit or whatever. But I don't know, man. It's, like I said, not a lot of answers. I mean, there's a ton of critiques that went on, that are still going on, actually. I mean, it's the early false detention of that one fella, that doesn't resemble the original guy at all. You know what I mean? He wasn't a student at the school or anything. He was detained, and that kind of slowed up the process, when they could have been out there looking for this other idiot. For some reason, they nabbed this guy and still don't know why,
Isn't that crazy? To get caught up in that? Jesus.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Like, imagine that. You know what I mean? Now you're up there like one of the major fucking news stories in the country going on, and and you're right there in the middle of it, thinking, what the fuck? Like, I don't, And when you get in one of those rooms, you better hope they're not convinced it's you. You know what I mean? Because they come at you hard. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no innocent till proven guilty when a detective really believes you did something. Now, I'm not saying that's what this guy faced, but that's always a possibility when you're in those situations.
Sure.
That's how they get false confessions out of people,
Yeah.
I mean, you see it time and time again, but a lot of people were bashing Patel. He faced a little backlash for prematurely posting on social media about the progress and the capture implications, only for the guy that they detained to be cleared hours later. So of course they called it a rush and inexperienced way that he handled that. So he didn't really fare too well on it. It's didn't look great on him, but I get it. I mean, the public wants answers. You're trying to give it to them. You just got to learn as you go on, I guess, to kind of slow down, hold off. But the problem with holding off is now you have the public saying, why the fuck aren't you telling us anything? So it's such
a double-edged sword, dude.
It really is.
It really is.
It really is, bro. It's like, how do you win in that situation where it's like they want answers? So you give them the answers that you think they should know, and then it turns out where it wasn't quite correct. So now you look like an asshole,
Absolutely.
like you were. It's tough. So I give him a little slack on that. I mean,
absolutely.
Now the school itself, they're talking about had over 1,200 cameras, but for some reason limited coverage in and around the shooting building. That frustrated investigators for sure. I mean, there's no clear interior video of the shooter supposedly with all these cameras. So the school's getting blasted about that. And I seen her on there at the press conference, I guess the lady that was running the school or whatever, trying to defend that, saying she doesn't think that the cameras would have made a difference had they been on in the building.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, they were grainy pictures from what I saw.
Garbage,
and it's like,
man.
It's like, what is that university worth, man? Their endowments and stuff. I bet you there's local Votex that have better camera systems. You know what I'm saying?
I got better ones at my house.
Right, exactly, dude. It's hilarious, dude.
Well, the funny thing is there's a picture of the suspect that's got no mask on that came out, but that's not the one they were showing the whole time. I don't know why. I mean, maybe there's a reason behind it. I mean, but why? Where was this photo the whole time?
Right.
It's clear as day. He's in the same jacket. You know, it's a surveillance video, but at least it's got his whole face, no hat, no mask, nothing.
Right.
That's the one that was plastered once they acknowledged that they got a suspect, they had a name out, they released all that information. Then all of a sudden they put this photo out. Now, it may have been a photo they had, but why wasn't that one released as fast as they were releasing the other one? So that was weird as shit to me. You know, that was another question people were asking, and there may be a legitimate answer. I don't know, but it just didn't make a lot of sense when now all of a sudden when you say, hey, we know who he is, and then that picture is released. It's like, well, that don't help after the fact, you know?
No.
So that was odd, but
it is. It's fishy.
Yeah, and you know, they were bitching too just about the local police. I mean, the delayed alerts that were going on in the response. You know, some question why, like, you know, outdoor sirens weren't activated immediately, and the time to notify nearby schools and institutions and all. I mean, it was all delayed for some reason. I don't know. I mean, it's that.
And can't you see why we throw up all of this bullshit, man? All of these little conspiracies and this and that.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
And it's like, God, it's crazy. Yeah. Total crazy.
Yeah. It's, you know, and of course the Providence police were catching it, you know, catching hell just over the length of the investigation. I mean, it's 6 days until the suspect was located. And, you know, I know it's easy to, you know, sit here in hindsight and what I would have done but they didn't handle it well at all, especially during the press conferences when they're putting some kind of, I guess it was some kind of trans activist or something that was related to the school to get up there. And the main thing he's worried about is not calling it the Brown shooter anymore, you know. Because that sheds a bad light on Muslims or anybody, I guess, with brown skin. So, and I'm thinking this is what we're concerned with right now. Mm-hmm. And then I start to see, well, I guess that's why the shit show that they're running over there is why it is, because that's who they decided to put up at the podium to talk, you know, about this nonsense.
It's ridiculous.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it really is.
Anyway, what's Kimberly talking about?
She's on it.
See, she knows. She was following it. You know? Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, at least he's apprehended. I say apprehended. At least he's done, I guess. But
he's unalive.
Still. It'd be nice, just out of curiosity, to know, for one, what the fuck did he have against any of these people, especially the MIT guy, because it's obvious he was singled out, targeted. These other people may have been random, might have been the first couple people he could get to, but then again, he did what he did and then left, you know. So why didn't he just stay in the school, you know, doing more damage if those two people weren't targeted that he killed? You know what I mean? It's just questions like that. I mean, we'll probably never know unless the feds found information like that inside that storage unit. There may be a note, you know, there may be some type of evidence pointing towards a theory of why, but we haven't heard anything. So,
yeah, wasn't the MIT guy? Look, you followed it a little bit harder than me, man. But wasn't the MIT guy some nuclear physicist or something that was coming out with some groundbreaking energy, or you know?
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that, because there were. You know, a lot of conspiracies with that, you know, it's people wanting to know if they're, of course, you know, everybody, it's always funner to come out with different, you know, theories and these conspiracy theories and all, you know, it's a lot of fun for sure. I mean, there's a lot of them going around. But that was one of them that supposedly, like you said, it was some kind of nuclear. I'm trying to remember, man, because I did read about it quickly, you know, a day or so ago, but I can't remember. I wish I could remember, you know, verbatim exactly what it was, because it was kind of interesting, but they're all interesting, you know.
Absolutely,
they're all interesting when you know, when these theories come up, when you're just sitting around doing nothing and like, oh yeah, it's true. That does sound interesting, but. Yeah, I can't remember, but there was that. There was, of course, the false flag thing. Mm-hmm. You know, that came up too. Don't know if that's, you know, I don't know, for to do it at Brown University. I mean, you just think if the government was going to do something like that, it would be a little bit on a bigger scale, like when they tried to fucking, blow up a passenger jet
Right.
back in like the 70s or something, and,
Yeah.
and to all start a fucking war with somebody, So I don't know. I don't know, man. It's probably going to be another one that's kind of cut and dry, where it was just some idiot that decided he was done with whatever the hell he was done with and wanted to take it out on everybody else. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
True.
I don't know, man.
We'll probably never know, brother.
No,
Yeah.
no, we probably won't, man. But any good news going on, man? I mean,
Never.
No.
No. It's Friday. I mean, dude, if that's good. I mean, if that's good,
No, but just staying on the little conspiracy theories, just to kind of entertain everybody for a second. The theory number one was basically that there was an inside job at Brown itself, like I mentioned. Of course, the shooter, a university employee, maybe maintenance, IT, or something like that, with full access to servers and security systems, wiping footage and scrubbing social media to cover their tracks.
Right.
And they're saying, okay, well, why the cover-ups? Well, they were saying that to dodge a massive lawsuit, lost tuition, and federal funding hits. So, but I mean, it's like, I mean, what you gonna? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I get into that. And then another one I mentioned was the false flag, claiming the whole thing was staged by the deep state or the government to distract from bigger scandals. To push gun control. That's always a good one.
That's always, it seems like.
And here's another, like, to punish Brown College for releasing a report on $33 billion in U.S. aid to Israel just days before.
Oh, really? See, I never heard that. Wow.
Right. See, that's another one they were throwing out there. And like I said, all these are fun.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Fun. They're just for fun, people. Yeah, we're not. I'm not saying any of these are true, but this is what's going on when you dig down the rabbit holes. Now, the one with the MIT professor, if I remember correctly, it's tied to shared secrets, like you said, in nuclear physics that needed silencing. Some people are even pointing to crisis actors or survivors who allegedly popped up in other mass shootings and foreign infiltration by Chinese agents exploiting security gaps. So it can go on and on and on. I mean, it's crazy. So like I said, I don't know about any of that. I mean, it sure makes the story a little more interesting, but no, probably cut and dry. Just some fucking psycho.
I doubt it.
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying.
I know.
I'm trying. No.
Jesus.
I did see, just jumping back on the Epstein stuff for a minute. It's crazy to watch, like, where now you actually start siding with these crazy, these Democrats, these liberals. You got like AOC.
Right.
She got on X earlier and posted about, now the cover up is out in the open. This is far from over. Everyone involved will have to answer for this. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, the whole admin. Protecting a bunch of rapists and pedophiles because they have money, power, and connections. Bondi should resign tonight. I agree with every word she said. But why is she saying it,
Right.
Because you can't tell me if they actually release names that people that are in her party are not going to be on that list. You can't tell me that. Yeah. So it's almost like, I think we mentioned this a while back, that it's almost like it's easy to cry to, for something like that and cry out loud and say, oh, release it, knowing damn well there's nothing going to be on it, but it makes you look like the good guy.
Right.
And that's what this does for AOC. It makes her look like she's on the right side of this. But she probably knows in her mind that it doesn't matter. They're not going to have nothing on those lists, but it'll make me look great.
100%. Absolutely.
And I hate to say that. Maybe she really does care. I mean, I hate to think that somebody doesn't care about these victims. If it was children and all, like, I would hope everybody gave a fuck. But I just don't trust them because they had their own time to release all of this. And they didn't even really talk about it.
Nope.
So why now? Yeah, why now is it a big deal to them? It's strange. It just makes you think it's all a big fucking act, and nobody really wants this shit released when it comes to politicians, is what it looks like. But it's easy to get up there and say we want it released, knowing it's never going to happen. So I don't know. I saw that earlier, and like I said, I don't agree with AOC much, but I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I can't argue with those words. I mean, protecting a bunch of rapists and pedophiles because they have money and power and connections, that's wrong.
That's true.
Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, you can bet if the Democrats get control, we'll be bitching about release this, release that, and there won't be a word. You hear nothing but crickets.
You're right. That's a good point now, because the way I see it shaping up, Gavin Newsom's going to be president in 2028. So now they'll have their turn to release it. You don't buy that at all. You don't think Newsom's doing it? No. I seen what was that? Erica Kirk talking about JD Vance, man. She threw his name out there the other night on stage.
Yeah.
Talking about, we all get behind JD Vance 2028. I mean, I guess I'm for it. I just don't know if he's, I got what it takes to go up against this machine. I hope he does. Maybe he's learning a lot from Trump on how to deal with this shit, Let them throw what they're going to throw at you and just move on, because it never stops with Trump, and he's still ticking.
Yeah. I mean, do you think? I mean, he's another one that's, a couple of years in the Senate, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into this role as vice president. It's like, God, it just sounds like more to it, man, Yeah. It's crazy.
Well,
just like Barack Obama, man. Senator, and then next thing he was president. It's like, God damn, man, where'd he come from, dude?
Yeah, well, I see the comment. First of all, imagine Newsom as president. We'd have more scorched earth like hell. I believe it. It would be a horrible thing, but I see them positioning him already. You know what I mean? I see him doing it. They're already doing it. And now you got Harris. You're starting to hear that swirl around again, that she's not totally against trying to run. And to me, that would be a hell of a primary race. I would love to see them two going at each other, just because I would sit back and laugh about how, they're best buds. And then all of a sudden now they're starting throwing dirt at each other. And it would be comical to sit back and watch them two have at it during the primaries, But either one of them would be disaster. I don't think anybody really wants Kamala up there. I don't think they wanted her when she got appointed that fucking position the last time.
No.
And
as you can see, that's what happened.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you sit back and look at it, and it's like, God, do you really think Newsom has a chance, or is that the best that the Democrats have right now?
Well, what I'm afraid of is when they all start, when they start throwing all the support behind one person, you've got everybody on your side when it comes to the media. You know how the media is. They're going to flip as soon as they get word on who we need to be supporting. It becomes a propaganda machine. It becomes an arm of the Democratic Party, to where now they all jump behind one person, and that's all they push. So you're fighting that. Now, somebody like Trump was polarizing enough to take that on.
Sure.
He didn't give a fuck, Right. He's like, well, bring it on, because he was way bigger than any media outlet.
Right.
Now, is that a JD Vance? You know what I mean? Now, I guess you could look at it like, hopefully Trump will be out there campaigning and drawing that base like he does for himself. I would hope he would continue to help when he's done, opposed to having somebody like Gavin Newsom in office. I know people are probably going to be sick of Trump by the time he's done, but damn, the last thing we need is the whole country to be like California, in my mind. Now, I take the weather, don't get me wrong, but as far as the politics and all that bullshit,
It's true. Look, let's just settle it, dude. Let's just let Trump run for a third term. That should piss enough people off, right there.
It scares the hell out of them, people that are too stupid to realize he can't do it.
Right,
I told you he wanted to be a dictator. He wants to be a king. They start freaking out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're Trump, and it's got to be a kick to be able to sit back and fuck with people and say shit like that. Because, he knows damn well he can't run, and he's even said it, but there's times he'll throw that out just to do it, and then all of a sudden it's a media storm, and it's an idiot storm on TikTok,
Exactly.
It just, oh my God, I told you he wanted to be a king. And it's got to be nice to just sit back and watch the shit show every now and then that you create.
It's hilarious.
I mean, I couldn't say I wouldn't do that if I had that kind of control, like, hey, watch this. I'm going to say one sentence and they're all going to fucking freak out for a week,
Exactly.
It would almost be awesome to have that kind of power. I'd be dangerous, though. I don't know if I need that power. There's no telling what the fuck I'd be putting out there.
Look, like even Kimberly's saying, like Rubio, man, I don't think you can rule him out either,
Rubio?
So, yeah, I think he's another one,
He is. Yeah, I'm just afraid, you never know who's part of this system,
It's true.
Of this whole system that all of these politicians are under. It's not to say Rubio would be bad, but it's hard to trust a politician anymore.
Sure.
I mean, it took somebody like Trump, who had no political history, to come in and basically upset everything they had going. And that's what you want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want somebody to come in there and shake that shit up and stir these muddy waters up and start exposing some shit. Now, could Trump be doing more? I'm sure, but Trump's one man. The president isn't king. No matter how much they want to have these rallies, he's not king. He never will be king. So he can only do so much. When the system's bigger than you, it's hard to control it. And let's, make no mistake about it, it's way bigger than the president of the United States. I mean, this is a guy who's a temporary position. There's no way in hell they're going to let somebody come in there and just, have access to every fucking thing and be able to expose everything and leave with those secrets. It's just not going to happen, No. So just to give Trump a little bit of a break. There's only so much he can do with that shit,
Yeah, you start looking at your Rubios, and I mean, he's part of the establishment, man.
Yeah,
he's been in there, he's been entrenched in there long enough, So
true. Well, what you really want to look for, is the person that it's almost bipartisan on who they're attacking.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Because that's kind of how it was with Trump. Nobody wanted him behind those curtains. You know what I mean? Both sides. So to me, that's all I have to see. Well, these motherfuckers are fighting hard to keep him out of office on both sides. That's the one we want in there. You know? I mean, it's like, it's pretty much,
it's true.
Pretty much what everybody should be looking for, just the person they don't want. And we see why. I mean, just look at all the shit that was exposed with Doge and what Elon uncovered. Oh, God, you think they wanted that shit out in the open?
No.
And I mean, nobody got in trouble for it, but it stopped a lot of the money flow.
Right.
And I think that's what all of that was about with trying to keep Trump out of office, was that there was going to be a lot of shit like that stopped. I mean, man, these people had a never-ending money laundering scheme. It just never ending. Just money, just anywhere, everywhere. And it's been like that for decades.
Oh, yeah.
And they never thought it was going to stop.
No, and that's what we talk about. It's like, where is the accountability, even on something like that? I mean, the millions. Let me rephrase that. Billions of dollars, man, that have rolled out. Yeah, billions, dude. That we the taxpayers have paid and flipped the bill for, and they have just milked it and milked it and milked it, and and they just keep saying, well, we got to raise taxes, we got to tax the wealthy, and it's like, God damn, dude, when is there accountability? Yeah,
and I think when it comes to that issue, as far as all that money, laundering and all that shit, I don't think you'll ever see any accountability on that. I'm just be happy as a taxpayer. I guess they've stopped it for a minute. But the problem is when this administration's gone, I mean, why not start it right back up?
Yeah. Open the borders. Yeah. Start funding and start USAID again, dude. And just start shitting out billions of dollars for dumb shit.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you listen to Elon explain what was found, it's criminal. I mean, it's fucking criminal. I mean, money going to people where they don't even know. It's like he said, they had shit on auto pay that was going to people that weren't even alive anymore. It was just going somewhere, just gone. And it's a never ending pool of money. So it wasn't like it was going to stop at some point.
Right. Exactly.
It was just never in. That's one thing with the government and in America, that you never bounce a check. The government never bounces a check. The money's always there. Right. Whether they got to print it, whatever the fuck they got to do to get, it doesn't matter. The money never ends. So these fucking just billions and billions and billions going out. And like you said, who's ever going to be held accountable for that? I mean, that is major theft, It wasn't just like somebody was shoplifting. I mean, that's billions of our dollars gone.
Yeah. Well, they hate us, dude. They hate the middle class, dude. And we're the ones that pay the bills.
I was going to say that. They should fucking love us. They should be kissing the ass of working Americans who actually allow them to accumulate that kind of wealth to be able to fucking steal, you know? They should really love us. And it seems like they shit on us every chance they get. You know, instead they cater to the people that don't do a fucking thing in this country, but suck off the welfare system. You know what I mean? They cater to them because I think that's where they want you. They want you down
without
there,
a doubt. Yes,
you know?
absolutely, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Apparently they've got another plan to keep the wealth coming in, because if they destroy the middle class, working class, you would think the money is going to stop trickling in. But it doesn't seem like they fear that at all.
Nope.
You know, I think they want us all living in poverty and under their control, you know?
Well, we're a big voice, dude. The middle class is just a giant voice, man. And you can see what happened with Trump getting elected. I mean, that's part of the reason, but they hate us, man. And I think if they figure we get rid of the middle class and knock most people down to, and I'm not going to say poverty, but just to lower middle class people where, man, you're forced to work. You're forced to have 2 family incomes. And you got your elites that, God, they're never going to stop making money. You know, it doesn't matter how much you tax them. They don't care. They're going to find write-offs anyway, you know. And it's just, if they can get us to a point to where we're totally dependent upon the government, that's what they want, dude. And that's what they're pushing for, you know.
Of course. I mean, you see that every day, just the stuff they preach to, you know, the Democratic side, at least, as far as we're going to take care of you, free healthcare, free this, free that. You know, Trump's taking your food stamps away, and it's like, you know, the last thing they need, I guess, is you to be self-sufficient, and it shows all the time. You know, with every policy
a better word would be free thinker. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't. Fuck that. No.
Yeah, dude,
it's almost punishable by death, man. Calm down.
It's true, dude. Yeah, you know. You think they love all these entrepreneurs out there like ourselves, man, that are trying to generate and have a plan to do something better for our families? And I don't mind paying taxes. I really don't, to a certain degree. But, God, when you sit back and look at where the freaking money's going, it's like, really, dude? Okay, I got you.
No, I'm with you. And that's been a big argument on a lot of people, is that you wouldn't mind if the money was going somewhere worth a fuck. But when you know they're stealing billions of it, well, then stop taking so much from us. That's all that let me know. When they uncovered what they did with Doge, it just really let me know how much money they took from us that they didn't need to over the decades. You know what I mean?
So true,
instead of giving us a fucking break, they kept their foot on our necks, taking every dime they can, and was pissing it away by the billions.
Yeah.
Pissing it away. Yeah. So this little shit that Trump talks about with this $2,000 here and this, fuck you. They owe us hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Isn't that the
if
truth?
they were able to steal billions and send it to bullshit like, you know, Trans fucking Dance Academy in Uganda or some dumb shit, that means they didn't need the fucking money. You know what I mean? They could have instead they're raping us for every fucking dime they could get out of us. And then they, you know, and like I said, I'm blasting Trump for it. They want to, you know, he wants to try to fucking entice you with these pennies basically that they're throwing back at you. And it's like, that don't make up for everything they fucking stole over the years. You know, what the fuck I'm going to do? $2,000 doesn't even do it any justice at all. That's not fucking making me jump up and down. No. And look, a lot of people could use that. It's not like I'm going to send it back to Trump, but my point is that to me, that's a slap in the fucking face. You know,
Absolutely.
It's like, you know, busting your ass as a waiter, and it's a $500 bill and they leave you 50 fucking cents. It's like, don't leave me nothing. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, fuck
You've been better off not leave me a damn thing, dude. 100% right. You know, I was telling one of the guys that work for me, a little young employee, man, and I said, everything's all right. He goes, no, I'm pissed because I work my ass off all week, and I try not, and it was funny the way they said it. I try not to look at what I pay in taxes. I just try to look at that bottom line number, because if I look at what's taken out of my check every week, I would be so pissed off, you know? I said, let me just tell you, man, you're working 5 or 6 months a year just to pay the taxes, man. You know, just to pay your taxes. You're working 5 or 6 months for free, dude, you know? So
that's true. That's true. And it makes it even worse, like I said, when you find out the fraud and the waste that goes on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it's been mentioned by a few people that make money, like we mentioned a few minutes ago. You wouldn't mind paying your quote unquote fair share if it was actually going towards what it's supposed to.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because, I mean, we all pay taxes in our local communities that goes towards the fire departments and police and schools and hey, all that's fine. Whatever.
Right.
You know, that's fine. But don't take it and send the shit overseas to other countries. You know, fuck that. You know, take care of us over here. So
I still don't understand. I still don't understand why more and more Americans like myself and all of us out there are just these politicians that come in with this $174,000 a year salary, and you turn around and like, you know, one of them that was in the news lately was Doug Crenshaw, you know, and here he is it Doug or Dan? Dan Crenshaw, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, now he's worth $30 million. Or AOC came in with nothing, and now she's worth $20-30 million. And it's like, dude, I want that job, dude. I want that job, you know?
Well, what you need to do is get smarter at investing, Brad. That's what they'll tell you. You know, Nancy Pelosi's husband was a master at it somehow. You know, it wasn't her, you know, her husband. You know, my husband did it. He's just amazing at investing. But yeah, I was speaking to someone about that today, man. And you know, that's another one of these kind of like we were talking about earlier with AOC talking about people need to be held accountable at what happened at Epstein Island. Sounds great, right? On the surface, of course they do. But does she really think that that's going to happen? You know, I believe that she believes that there's no big names that are ever going to be released, so it's easy to say that because it makes you look good. Well, that's kind of the same thing when I started hearing these politicians say we need to stop the stock trading with anybody that's in Congress. They're not allowed to do it. Right. Yes. But they know that shit's never going to happen, so it's easy to say that as a congressman, you know, because the person saying that don't even want it to happen because they're probably benefiting from it. But it sounds good. Right. Because I know that's been brought up, you know, in the last couple of weeks about making it illegal. If you're in Congress, you hold any kind of position in the government or whatever, you don't need to be out there fucking trading stocks and buying stocks and selling stocks. You shouldn't. But as soon as that starts, it's like it ends as soon as the sentence begins, it's over. Because they're all looking at each other like, wait a second, well, hold on. Like, wait a second now. I mean, you know, you saw a couple years back when they mentioned it to Pelosi when she was at that conference, boy, she shut that shit down quick. Like, you know, like it's not fair to not allow them to do it or something. And meanwhile, they're passing fucking laws and, you know, making all these regulations that they know exactly how that's going to affect the stock market when they do it. It's no secret what they're doing, you know, and it's a shame.
It's totally true. What you think?
Good investing.
Good investing, yes.
Good
yes.
investing.
You got to be able to outperform the S&P 500, dude, for 6 years, and you'll do well, you know. But let me ask you, man, you know, Trump was touting term limits on Congress and the Senate, you know. What kind of traction you think that gets?
None at all, because I think it's the same thing, that it doesn't benefit anybody in Congress. You know? I think you're going to have some of your yays if it ever goes to vote. You're gonna have some people that have to play that role to say, yeah, I voted for it, but it's going to be 192 no's and a few. You know how that's going to go, because like I said, it doesn't benefit a single person in Congress to let that go through.
Yeah, why would you?
That
gravy
and
train,
if I'm up there, I'm fuck. If I'm in Congress, I'm gonna be like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to have to be.
Yeah, exactly. God, just it's incredible. There's
you
no end to the game, dude. Yeah,
right. And you almost can't blame some of them how they act when they get that kind of control and that wealth. But at the same time, you don't want people like that or me up in Congress, because, like I said, if I'm there, I want to be a lifer too. I want to be able to have some insider trading. Right. Fuck yeah. I want to funnel billions of dollars to a fucking organization I created. Why not?
Sure. Yeah, you want to be shitting on yourself in Congress.
Right, so I'm letting anybody know, if you see Shane Michael running for any position, that guy from the BSing with the Guys show, you better fucking vote against me, because I'm going to be in there corrupt as fuck in about a week. That's all it's going to take.
Well, it's true. Yeah.
So I can't blame them, but at the same time, we need better people with better objectives going into this. You know what I mean? Like, they really want to help the people. I mean, it's but you don't. It's just not. That's not typically the ones that want to go deal with all the bullshit you got to deal with to be a politician, you know, because it's a dirty game. It ain't for everybody, dirty, man.
Yeah, it's
not for everybody. That's my concern about not having Trump back running, is it's a very dirty game, and not everybody's built for that game. Matt's taught. He's in the comments. He's going to run. You got my vote, Matt.
Me too, Matt. Yeah, absolutely, dude. No,
But yeah,
there's no
anyway,
correcting it, dude. There's no correcting
nah,
where we're
nah,
at.
nah.
We're just, I mean, we are just in horrible times. We're in, it's just,
Yeah,
I
there
don't,
ain't
I
no
don't
good
see
news.
any good. Yeah, I don't see any
No.
good coming out of what needs to be
No,
done.
and you ain't gonna get no good news listening to this, because I'm with you. It's there is no fixing what's going on in this country when it comes to the government and the politics. And I mean, things get better sometimes and they get worse. I mean, the pendulum kind of swings, but as far as just the dirtiness that goes on behind closed doors and sometimes right out in the fucking open because they don't care, but
Right.
none of that's ever going to change. It's too deeply, ingrained into that
Yes.
political culture now to ever fucking change. It's never going to happen.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, all you can do is ride it out and hope, at least when somebody's in there, that they're doing something to keep the country going, the economy going, to where we can all at least, try to live a normal life. But as far as fixing that corrupt, that's far fetched. I don't even know how that would even be possible. I mean, everybody would have to go, but then you would have to fill it back up with people that don't become corrupt, and it's human nature. It's never, it's just it's been from the beginning of time. I mean, there's always been people that are just, they may even start off innocent, but are easily corruptible when you start showing money and power to people. I'm sitting there saying in a joking manner earlier, but I don't know if I can resist the urges of being handed that kind of power and access to wealth, and be like, well, fuck, I want my piece. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yes, reasonable. It is an oligarchy. You're 100% right. We bitch about the Russians having oligarchies, but it's here. It is here, brother, and there's no stopping it. And it's just, I agree with you. Since 1913, brother, it's 100% correct. And we're doomed as a country. We will be changing, and I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime, but what we've had, it'll never be the same, brother. Never,
and what people don't realize, man, is every empire has fallen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we're not that old. It's not like we've been around for 10,000 fucking years running this way.
Nope.
I mean, it's been a couple hundred years or so.
250 and it's like, next year. Dude.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like we're that fucking old, but in our short lifetimes, I guess it seems like it's been forever and things are fine. It's always been like this, but
it'll
it's
get
like,
better. Right.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody falls eventually. So I just hope I don't see it. You know what I mean? Because when it falls, it's boom, it's done. And then only the strong survive then, I mean, it's a lot of misery, a lot of, you see it in the history books. I mean, it's not pretty. And people, we get so comfortable in our everyday lives over here in this country that it's just, that seems far-fetched to people, but it's not. It's really not. And it's like it's inching closer and closer towards that as the years go on. Is it
one generation away from freedom, dude.
Right, exactly. And we're only a few generations into this country. I mean, if you think about it,
we're young.
It's crazy.
Well, what really bothers me, man, on the whole financial aspect of it, not that I'm this big whiz on finances, dude, but it's like, man, you can't be 38 and even what they're talking about with this QE that's coming and printing 45 billion a month, and that's going to inject however many trillions back into the economy, that we can just keep going on our financial system. I mean, I worry about it. You can look what precious metals are doing. Oil hasn't really made a run yet, but that's coming, man. And if we invade, if we go to war with Venezuela or let something happen in the Middle East, God, oil will spike. I worry about that stuff, man. I do. And I worry about inflation. We've been dealing with it, and I do not believe the numbers that are coming out from the government. I do not believe it. And like I said, I voted for Trump and his administration, but I do not believe that those numbers are corrected. I believe we're in a recession. I believe we have been in a recession. I just think it would just add more negativity to the economy if they truly came out and told you what was wrong. Yes, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, people, it just more panic, more
panic. Yeah,
start seeing stock markets crash. Yeah,
absolutely, dude.
Yeah, and look, and sometimes that may have to be done as far as to not releasing the total truth. Because of things like you said, it could come crashing down when if it's something that you believe, like as the president or whatever, that, hey, we're going to work through this. So we don't need to put that information out because it's just going to make it harder to get through it.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe they have reasons where, they have to hide certain things from the public because of that. It's the same thing with, not to go way off on the stupid UFO topic, but that's another one that always comes up, is that they just think the American public can't handle what they know when it comes to these UFOs and all this shit. So, a lot of it, they just don't want full panic across the country. And I'm with you.
Right.
You start talking about how bad it really is financially, and then stock market plummets, everything's fucking, it's just
Going in the toilet. Right.
Yeah, everything just a big snowball just rolling downhill, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there is a reason, but Trump is protecting criminals. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I'm assuming they're talking about the Epstein files. My take on that is he may be, but he may not even have access to the total files to even know who the fuck's in it anymore. I mean, that shit to me was probably scrubbed clean by the last administration. You know what I mean? So
and they
I don't know.
had 4 years. If it was so important to these liberals that it be brought out into the public, y'all had 4 years, man, to do what y'all had to do with this. Why was it never brought out to light during the last 4 years of the Democrat administration?
Yeah, and that's we keep beating that drum, but it's true. When people want to bring that up, it's all the blame does not go on this administration.
Not at all.
You can't lay it if you really care about the victims or whatever the fuck it is you want to claim you care about with those files, then you have to put the blame where it belongs, and it's on everybody across the spectrum when it comes to this government. They all share some of the blame when it comes to getting down to the bottom of what went on that fucking island.
Right.
So for the ones that it's just like how they can just come at Trump, it blows my mind. It's like you're not thinking with an objective mind. Like you're not even trying to think outside the box at all. You're just stuck in this little political bubble, and it's because it's Trump, it's his fault. And it's like it doesn't work like that all the time. Because you cannot deny that they had ample time when they were in charge to do something about it, and they didn't. And if you try to deny that, you're lying to yourself, and you know it. Anybody listening to this, they know it. They know they're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Alex said at 921. He's president. If he wants access, he can get it. I don't know if I believe that, dude. You really don't.
And Alex must not have been on here a few minutes ago, so I'll explain it again to Alex. The president is one guy that's going to be gone in a little while. Do you really believe they give this man or woman, if she ever makes it in there, access to every ounce of information that this government has? I don't believe Trump saw the fucking JFK files. I don't even believe that. For one, I don't think there's much there to see anymore. Now he got on Rogan shit talking about, I read half of it and a buddy of mine told me to you might want to stop reading it. It gets bad. So I stopped reading it. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe they handed that shit to him. You know what I mean? Like why? Like I say, why would you? Why would you disclose every secret, that you have hidden to a guy that's going to be gone in a little bit? It makes no sense at all. So. Yeah. I kind of leaning towards that with these Epstein files, man. I just don't believe there's much to even release anymore. There ain't no telling what's under those black lines when they show them redacted forms. It may be nothing. It's just, you don't know what the fuck's under that. It may be white paper with black lines. So they're making it look like there's a bunch of shit in it, but we just, we're protecting victims, and it's nothing. I mean,
that's the truth.
Nobody can see under those black lines. I mean, you know what I mean? It's all fucking just a charade, man. Yeah. I don't trust none of them.
Just like Vinny hit at 923, that's why Bongino quit. He knew the swamp was too deep. I agree with you, Vinny. I just, it is so deep, I believe it,
Where's he at? Let me pop it up on there. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were talking about on a couple episodes ago. You're right. I think you could just see the last interview I saw with Bongino, you could see the stress on his face,
the disgust,
and how true he was being when he was talking about, being yanked from his family and just being in this position of just hopelessness. I don't know. You could just see it coming through. Like it was genuine feelings, and you knew something was up. I'm like, this guy ain't liking this shit, because he looked miserable.
Yes.
And then a couple weeks later, it's, look, I'm done. I'm out of here. January. It's been fun, but peace, And I can't say I blame him. And maybe he got in there Maybe he is a stand-up guy. He gets in there and he sees how this shit works. Kind of like what I was explaining, that you think you're going to get in there and you're going to see all of this corruption and you're going to see all these evil things going on that you can change. And when you get there, you don't see nothing. You know what's going on, but you don't see who's behind it. You don't, so all you're doing is spinning your wheels, and then everybody's lashing out at you because you're not doing nothing.
Right. And you're not changing shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, who the fuck wants to put up with that? It's like, look, I can't do nothing about it. It's what you probably want to say. I see you motherfuckers online bashing me every day. I can't do shit about this. It's bigger than me. I'm out of here. But, that's kind of how I took Bongino, that he seemed like a patriot, that really wanted what was best for the country. And he got in there and saw how deep this shit runs. And he's doing no good in there. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing any of them can do.
Nope.
And I think he's better off, and he's serving the conservative side better by just doing his podcast again, and rallying the base, man, getting ready for these midterms, getting ready for this 2028 election. I think he's better off with that, because you watch, if he don't spike to number one or close to it in his political podcast spectrum, I'll be surprised, just because of just coming fresh out of working for the fucking, this administration, like he did when the FBI and all, the Department of Justice. It's like, just to have that under your belt now, on top of already having a huge fan base. He should explode, Yeah. And so I think he's going to have a powerful base. He's going to be able to create a powerful movement when it comes to these elections. And I think maybe he thought, hey, I'll be better off, or I can better serve this country by getting the fuck out of this dead end position that I'm in right now.
Right.
And I'm speaking for Bongino, like I fucking know what's in his brain, but I'm hoping that's what the case is,
Yeah. No, you've been saying that, dude. Off air, you and I talk off air daily, and you keep saying that. And look, you might be right, dude. You might be right.
Oh, I'm right.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what is this might shit you throwing at
Shane
me?
is always right, guys out there and gals. Yeah, he's always right.
Just don't vote for me, because I will turn corrupt. Just remember I said that. Yeah. So, but anyway, that was a good point. He brought up.
Oh,
about
reasonable
Bongino.
out there, man. You were just convinced that Israel is the biggest part of our problems, and God is. I'm kind of silenced on what I really want to say, but anyway. I think, I don't know if you were on here, Brad, with us, but it might have been me and Justin that night. But we started talking about the hatred that I see just running rampant when it comes to Jewish people. You know what I mean? Jews, and right.
You see it. The anti-Semitism, and it's like, I don't know where it's coming from, and I'm not educated in it enough to know whether it's justified, but what I was saying that night was, I don't see a bunch of Jewish people running around blowing up buildings, shooting people in crowds. Like when I go, if I'm out late at night by myself, maybe going to the ATM or something, I'm not looking around for Jewish people. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? I'm not on an airplane wondering how many Jews are sitting behind me. So I'm just so lost on where all this is coming from. But them people got it bad right now, dude. Mm-hmm. I seen a lady in Australia on TV the other day, a woman that was saying that she's basically been afraid to even say that she was Jewish around there. And just an innocent little lady, but she said, I'm just tired of it. She said, now I wear my little thing around my neck. She's like, we just tired of being treated like we've been treated. And then, after the little shit on that Bondi, beach or whatever, she was like, we got to stop feeling like we got to hide. I mean, we're under attack here. Right. And I see it going on all over X and all over other social media, platforms, just the hatred thrown towards those people. And I'm just trying to figure out, where is it coming? Like, who are they harming to have that kind of shit thrown at them? And I'm not saying they're not. I would just like to be educated on it for somebody that can really say something besides fuck the Jews. Like, I know, tell me more than that. I know is there a big thing about how they supposedly own everything? You know what I mean?
The whole financial
one?
Sector. Yeah. Financial sector,
Yeah. And like I said, maybe some of the negativity towards them is justified. I don't know. I don't know. I just know, like I said, when I get into a sticky situation or I'm sitting there, checking my surroundings, I'm never looking for Jewish people. That's the last ones I'm worried about. I mean, so you can take it how you want. I don't know if that means anything, but think about it in your own personal life. When is the last time you ever looked around and said, I hope there's no fucking Jewish people back?
There's no Jews around.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't go drive through the city of New Orleans dodging Jews, man.
No. Oh,
So,
my God.
I don't know. Maybe we get somebody on here to explain it. That was that old UFC fighter, man? Not Sean Strickland. There's another one. Somebody may know the name out there. He's a UFC fighter that is hardcore anti-fucking Jew. I mean, just stays on it, dude. Like, just the whole denying the Holocaust shit and, just crazy shit. And I would love to have him on here. Jake Shields is his name, matter of fact. Just, he just to kind of, like, tell me what your point is. Like, what's going on here? Like, explain to me why. He's so outspoken, spoken against these people to the point of, wishing harm and all. It's one thing to just not care for a group, but when you go that deep as just basically wishing they were all gone, it's like, okay, well, now I want to know why. Like, tell me why, And I've yet to have anybody explain to me and be able to tell me in a logical way why they're receiving the type of hate that they're receiving nowadays. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not educated enough on the whole, history with the Jewish and Israel and all that shit to know why, but nobody else seems to be because they can't explain it. So
yeah, it's out there. I'll talk to you off air about it. Buddy.
No, motherfucker, talk to me off. Break it down.
Nah, we're good.
Off air ain't no fun. Let's get in trouble.
Let's get in trouble. Yeah, exactly right. The way we make our part-time living here, man, our extra job living here. I'm good. The money's too good, So yeah,
I hear you.
The Rothschilds, man. Yeah, that's another one, dude. But yeah, it's they are, Well, they did kill Christ, dude. So they'll be persecuted for the rest of their lives.
Okay. All right. Well, so it could be a religious thing. I know that's a lot to do with, the Muslims and Israel and all. A lot of it goes back to just, religious warfare and land. I mean, they look at it like that shit was taken. The Muslims, like the land was taken from them. That's our shit. You know what I mean? So a lot of it's like that, but a lot of it is religious, man. And when you get people that are hardcore, I'm not talking about people that just go to church every, on Easter,
right?
But people that's what they live, breathe, they buy into it, every aspect of it. And part of their religion basically says to fucking destroy your enemy. Well, you're going to do it,
Exactly.
So it's that I get. Why they have so much turmoil over there. I just didn't understand it coming from the American soil, like why the hatred, like what's going on, because they're just being openly attacked now, randomly attacked. And you can't tell me that, just because they identify as Jewish, that they're bad people. Like I said, these people that were slaughtered on that beach. I mean, why would anybody think they deserve that? And people weren't hurting nobody.
No.
But for some reason, people were like, well, fuck them, they're Jewish. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's kind of a little hardcore in my opinion.
It is a little hardcore, man, when you look at it,
But anyway, I don't want to get too far into that because they
Me
may run this platform as far as I know. Well, I'm taking up for them, though, so that's they ought to love me.
Yeah, don't censor us, YouTube, for sure,
No, I do want to pull up a video real quick before we get off about one of the dumbest things you can ever do if you're in police custody. Okay. So
I cannot wait, dude.
No, you can't, buddy.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Now, let's see. All right, there it is. Let's play it. It's a shoplifter. They got him detained. It looks like in a Walmart or something. It doesn't get graphic or nothing, so we're waiting on that. Spoiler alert! But it's just a dumb decision this guy's about to make. I don't know what goes through people's mind, but oh shit! There it went. But anyway, watch him.
55-50.
They're walking by. You see him being sneaky. Reaches for his pistol. Like,
No
what do you
way.
think? What do you think? Oh, he tried to shoot that cop right there. Boys, lucky
Ah.
to bullet, huh?
He's lucky.
Ooh,
Total
well,
lucky.
There you go. Uppercut. Like, what do you think was going to come out of that scenario?
Wow. He's lucky he's walking, dude.
I was wondering what he was pointing at because he pointed in his, direction, I guess, to our right of the screen. Yeah, right there. And then you see that cop. He was trying to take that cop out. And listen to that woman. No. That woman's like, I ain't got shit to do with this.
Yeah, right.
God. So anyway, that is a what not to do.
Yep.
If you're ever caught shoplifting, I mean,
Do
first
not
to
pull
start
your
off, don't shoplift. But if you do, don't point your gun at a fucking cop because that could have turned bad, dude. He's lucky that cop had the restraint.
Absolutely.
'Cause at that moment, he could have pulled that trigger if he wanted to.
Absolutely.
So,
And it would have been justifiable, dude, for sure, dude.
Yep.
Wow.
He sure would have.
Wow.
But-
We don't have
All
our
right.
Second Amendment guy on here to debate.
Yeah,
that,
no
but
shit. He didn't want to join us tonight. But all right,
Was
well, let's
there
get
a
out of here.
barrier,
We'll be
dude?
back at
Yeah.
it.
Was there a
Fucking
barrier
Monday.
there? Yep.
Monday, Tuesday, I don't know, whatever day we feel like jumping back on. Y'all make sure you subscribe if you haven't done it yet. It's
Please.
not that hard. Push the button.
Yes, we
And,
need it.
Fuck yeah, we'll be back soon. Brad, tell them peace.
Peace.